Welcome back to Switch to Linux. So today we're just going to have a look at a very popular distro that I just have not looked at. So this will be essentially a first impressions. I'm not necessarily going to do a pros and cons because of the popularity of this particular distro. And we are going to look at Ubuntu Mate, which probably is even more of a more popular distro than Ubuntu Unity. I don't know. I haven't seen the actual statistics, but I know a lot of people really like Ubuntu Mate. And it's one that I've never actually looked at for just because I haven't. You know, it's... one person asked me in response to the video yesterday, which was Linux Mint Cinnamon versus Linux Mint Mate, asked what is more stable, Ubuntu Mate or Linux Mint. And I really can't answer the question because I have not used Ubuntu Mate. I think based on a couple of the other comments, some people have indicated that there is an error logger or something that is disabled, or that is it is not installed on Mint Mate, but it is installed on Ubuntu Mate. I have not encountered that in the little bit of time I've been playing with the distro, so I can't comment on that either. But we're just going to boot into it. We're going to have a look at it and see what everything looks like. So we're going to transition over here, and I put my camera in the middle today because the Mate uses panels at the top and at the bottom. Oh, I should just grab this guy before I start the video so he doesn't come and bother me, because he's just like every day he wants to be part of the video apparently.
Come to Switch to Linux, ha ha ha.
Alright, so here you can see the stats of the virtual machine that I have. 8 gigs of RAM, 4 processor cores. So it's not a light virtual box as it is, so that is just fine. So here is your actual distro. Again, hold your right control key and push F on a virtual box to full screen it. When I first installed this, the guest editions were working just fine, which gives me the full screen. And then when I shut the virtual box down and restarted it, it ceased to give me the full screen. I installed the guest editions, and it made it worse, locking it to 600 by 800. And then I actually ran the system updates, which I forgot to do earlier, and once I did that, everything went right back to working again. So if your guest editions is not working, run a system update and see if that solves your problem. So I'm logging that as not an issue because, well, I resolved that with an update. And if something is resolved with an update, yeah, I'm certainly not calling that a problem. So one of the things that kind of annoys me a little bit about the system, about the distro here, is they like have sounds on everything, and that's kind of annoying. Just opening something up was generally giving me sounds. And something that I had done, this cat is like totally fuzzy and pushes hair all, look at this. I mean, that's... everywhere. This cat is full of hair. What I had mentioned yesterday in the video is I could not remember where the system settings were, and I was doing a search for settings. It is called Control Center. It is on Linux Mint Mate as well. I totally forgot about that, and in fact, I probably referenced it on my video where I was talking about theming Mate. In a previous video, but I mean, I just don't use Mate much. It's nothing against Mate. I think Mate is a very good platform. A lot of people like it. I think it's cool. For me, I like Cinnamon, so I use that. I run KDE on this computer behind me. I run Unity on my one Ubuntu computer simply because that was my first experience with Linux, and so I run Unity there, and on my little netbook, I run Peppermint, so XFCE, and, you know, just a couple other odds and ends distros around as well. So there's some things about Mate I just don't remember because I'm not in Mate nearly as much as many of my viewers are, so feel free to leave ideas, suggestions, thoughts in the comments. That's perfectly fine. These are for me, and the reason I do a lot of the pros and cons and the first impressions are so that we can get an understanding of what a person's going to look at and what a person's going to find when they first install a distro. So, in other words, I want to look at a distro from the perspective of an experienced computer user. What am I going to see? And that's why it's important to know that. So inside of your administration, I do find that the administration panel in Mate is probably the best control panel as far as all of the Linux distros, at least here. And I believe when I do remember it after seeing it here now, I do remember seeing this in Linux Mint as well, and I think that it is even more in there, much more control inside of this platform than inside of Cinnamon. So we do have a lot of things, although a lot of them I'm not sure I'd really use. Your time and date you might do so, and I'm not sure if you can hear that, but just clicking on that gives me a click. And so I'm getting times all over the place. So here I can adjust my configuration. What I can't do from this screen here is adjust the format, but I should be able to do that right-clicking. Oh, not help. Right-clicking preferences, I should be able to select my format. Here's your 12-hour format. You can do locations. Weather. Let's go ahead and see if weather does this. But, I mean, can you hear the beeps? You might be able to. I don't know if you can hear the beeps or not. But let's look at State College, Pennsylvania. Let's see if I can get the weather. Hey, look at that. It gets 9 degrees C. Let me change that. Yeah, Kelvin. Awesome! And do not say degrees Kelvin. Chemistry professor. I'd take off extra for that. Although why I don't use Celsius, I don't know. But there you go. So there you go. I just put my weather up there. Integrated with the clock for some reason. I'm not quite sure, but that's good to know, I guess. So here we have adjusting your printers. Your software updater is here. We'll check if there is anything to update. I just updated this thing like 15 minutes ago, so it does look like it might be finding something. Are you finding something? Nope. Okay, you're finding something. Your settings, of course, would open up the software and updates. So if you are new to Linux or don't use Ubuntu much or are not familiar with an Ubuntu-based platform, this is pretty standard for software and updates. You can select these guys here where you're going to be getting some of your software repositories. Any other repositories, if you install a PPA, would appear in here, and so you can add and remove them. Over here, just hit the add button and you can add the line. For your updates, you can install important updates, recommended updates, and unsupported updates. And then you can choose when you check. Daily, here's your daily, your download and install automatically, which I never really care for that. I like the display immediately. And then when there are other updates, you can display immediately. So security are downloaded and installed automatically. Other updates are just displayed. Let's just display immediately. And then down here, inside of this box here, this is the one that might throw some people for a little bit. The any new version, if I selected that, it would actually come in here and want to try and install 1610. But I wanted to stay on 16.04, and so I just have it selected for long-term support version, so if the next LTS comes out, I could update to that, or never will lock it into the computer. So I did, by the way, run this on 16.04.2, which actually somebody asked me to look at, I want to say in Ubuntu, look at the differences. So I just decided to install Mate on that particular one just to see if there's anything that sticks out to me as different. Here's your additional drivers where you will be able to see any extra items. A lot of these guys here are because I'm in a VirtualBox. This is because I'm running a Core i5. And then there's some developer options. If I click on the pre-release, then I would actually get 17.04 on here, I believe. So there's your settings. And again, you can access that by hitting the software and updates over here in the control panel. See if there's anything else in here I wanted to highlight specifically. Most things in here are pretty pretty self-explanatory. I guess I wanted to look at, again, like my video yesterday, the look and feel here. They do theme this up very nicely like Ubuntu. I like the icons in Ubuntu that we have, but we do have the option to use different icon packs, more modern ones, or, you know, older ones. So you can select from the different window borders that we have. Some of these look kind of old and dated. Some of them look pretty new. Here's your default. And then if you customize this, you can adjust individual components from your color or your controls, your colors, your window borders. Yeah, that's neat. Neat little window borders there. Okay. And then your icons are over here. Seeing what the different icons look like. Oh, the humanity. I always have to say that horrible joke every time I see that. All right. Oh, and we have more pointers. I like the red glass and the white glass pointers. Of course, it didn't select them. I'm not sure why. So you can come through here. Ubuntu 16.04, of course, has the firewall. You do have to enter your password. Now, to make any adjustments to the rules, if you come over here, you can't add any adjustments to the rules unless the firewall is turned on. So now you can do this. You can do pre-configured, which will give you application limits. So you can come down here into these, and you can find your various items. So if you're running a media server, you might want to come down into audio, video, and find whichever streaming server you're using. Or you can do simple, if you just know the port numbers, you can do the adjustments with there. And then, close. You can select from different profiles, Office, Public, and Home. Similar concept as the network defaults on Windows. All right, so that's enough on the controls. The Mate for Ubuntu does feature two panels. They do theme up the top panel to look very much like the top panel in Ubuntu Unity. A couple differences. Your power button up here in the corner is a about and pull down menu on Ubuntu. This is not. It will just shut down the computer. You know, we have our clock with, hey, now my weather. So now I can watch my weather in one less step. Of course, this guy right here has my weather in the top corner. That's actually why I like the KDE platform. Is I really like the look and the design of all the widgets and how I have that set up. It's just a completely different computer setup as I've traditionally used, because I'm, you know, although I know how I work really efficiently, I also like to break free from some of those in some ways. And so that's why I run KDE on that. And as soon as I can get that on a faster hard drive, I want to do that. It's slow and buggy, but the hard drive is over a decade old. So, you know, that's probably why. But we do theme up the top panel. You can put launchers up here. There's the various menus. And then we have a bottom panel, which is going to give us our task manager. We have the option to show all of the items over here. And I'm not sure what the basic functionality of this is. Let's see. Okay, so that is an actually minimize all windows functionality. So as I had mentioned before, if you look at how the minimize all windows and show desktop on a PC works, it works a lot different than it does on a Mac. Where on a Mac, it just throws everything out of the way and shows you the desktop. But if you pull up another window, it will restack everything on top of the desktop again and show that window on top. That's how the Mac works. The Windows actually minimizes all the windows, so you can hit the button, go back to your desktop, and then pull up the windows one at a time. So it looks like that's the functionality that this one's going for here. We have the show desktop over here. If I were actually using this, then I would, what I would actually do is move it around and put it way on the other end. I like the fact we have the trash can on here, but I'd probably move the trash can over somewhere else. Let's see. What is in the way there is the taskbar. So I need to move that out this way. And this is the thing that as I had mentioned yesterday, that I'm not a huge fan of on Mate, is you have to control all of the various elements independently of each other, and it's actually quite annoying. However, as annoying as you can say it is, it's actually not all that bad, because it's not like you're going to be doing this a lot. You're just going to be dragging things around probably once or twice just to get a handle on things. So the dark theme, if you have a light theme, you'll actually see three little bars here, which is the early, the part where you grab that. In fact, let me pull up a theme there and I'll just show you that. No, not that. I can never find the appearance where I think it's going to be. Okay. That one's an ugly theme. Let's go with this one. All right, so if you look down here between the control center task panel and the trash can, you can see those three little dots. Those three little dots gives you a right click to pull up your system monitor, etc. That's what you actually have to move. But if you're on a dark theme, you really can't see it. At least I don't think you can. Well, there's like 3 pixels there, but that's what I was looking for. So it's just easier if I just pull up a window. Okay, I guess we're going with this theme for a while. That's neat. Okay. If I just pull up a window there, then it's going to show me that, so I can now lock it. So now I have a taskbar on the bottom, which has tasks and things like this. I have the status bar on the top, which is very much like Ubuntu. As far as applications, very heavy on applications, which is either a positive or a negative for you. This is a system that I would install as a utilitary, because it does have the ability to create backups and to write drives and things like that. I have my disks, character map, basically a lot of extra tools that some people may find a little bit excessive to have on your computer. And for me, I really like all those there. But you can see the basics of this. There's really not a whole lot of surprises here. Overall, good round distribution, very nice, very clean. I have not encountered any crashes on it in the short period of time I've actually been playing around with it. So that's good. And as far as anything else, it's I don't really see any reasons why I wouldn't run it, other than the fact that I'm not looking for a new distro right now. Am I about to wipe my Linux Mint computer and run Ubuntu Mate? Probably not, especially since I'm not quite sure I like the direction Canonical seems to be going. However, this is quite a refreshing desktop. It's very good to know that Ubuntu and Canonical does support these major distros that although Unity is kind of their child in a way, it is very nice that the organization sees that there are people that don't like the Unity and does have these officially sanctioned distros. So let's have a look at all of the let's see. Just want to have a quick look at all of the Ubuntu flavors here. Okay, of course there's some that are some of them that are just various desktop environments, like Mate and GNOME are desktop environments. Ubuntu is the LXDE. Ubuntu is actually what I use for my banking, encrypted banking software. Very nice, so I do use that one for there. I've hooked people up with Ubuntu Studio who are content creators in their own right, and basically reviving old computers with Ubuntu Studio, and basically making that work. Let's see. I don't know some of the other ones. Let's see. Ubuntu includes applications and games appropriate for children and enables a teacher to set up a complete classroom quickly and easily. Well, that's a neat thing to look into. Kubuntu is the KDE Plasma. So if you do like the KDE and you want Ubuntu instead of Linux Mint, that would be the distro for you. Ubuntu. Myth TV-based PVR system. It can be a standalone system or integrated. I have no idea what Myth TV is. Other than maybe TV's a myth. I don't know. I haven't had one of those in a long time. Well, I have a physical TV, but it's connected to a DVD player and a OpenELEC media PC computer. The Kylan project tuned to the needs of Chinese users. Okay, all right. Xubuntu is the XFCE desktop. So those are the various officially sanctioned Ubuntu flavors. This one, as I said, is Mate. So whichever one of the major desktop distributions other than Cinnamon, they have Mate, GNOME, KDE, LXDE, and XFCE. Where's that? XFCE somewhere. Of course, we have the Chinese edition, education, apparently a television one, and a creative studio version. So those are your various Ubuntu flavors. So that is just a brief walkthrough of this system. Very nice. I like it. No stability issues seen here, just running it quickly in a VirtualBox. And I think that based on the various comments that I've seen on videos, I seem to think that more people are running Ubuntu Mate than probably Ubuntu Unity. I don't know. Let me know, which distro do you use and why? As I said, I use Ubuntu on my banking software. So, guys, encrypted a few times, and it has all of my banking information on it. And with that being said, Ubuntu, I have a lot of experience on that. Good distro, works fine for me. Ubuntu Mate, if I had a new computer here and I knew somebody looking for this would probably be a distro that I might do. Let's have a quick look at the system monitor. We're running about 800 megabytes right now, so it's not particularly super lightweight on this platform. As far as from the video yesterday, Linux Mint Mate does run on about 100 or 200 megabytes less than Linux Mint Cinnamon. I was not able to show the exact Cinnamon memory resources because I was using that on my native system, but that being said, it is still quite a respectable system here, and you can get away with that on a pretty good platform. So yours are shut down, and it shuts down pretty quick, especially on a VirtualBox. So there is just a little bit there about Ubuntu Mate. Probably not surprising for most of my viewers. However, it's a video that I wanted to do just because I have not actually looked at Ubuntu Mate prior to today. So that was a first impression. My first impression, good. I give it a couple thumbs up. It's a nice little distro. So with all that being said, this has been Tom, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.